NFL announced this week that Texans edge rusher Mario Edwards Jr. has been suspended 4 games without pay for a violation of the league's substance abuse policy. That explains why he was so adamant about getting to the ball. Welcome to the Moonstam Cast. My name is Jordan. This is the Anavar to my trend, Brian. Brian, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. You know, I'd be better if the baseball playoffs were a little bit more in our favor, but I'm doing okay. Life's going well, and we have sports to talk about, so let's get to it. Speaking of baseball, the playoffs, we're in the championship series. Yeah, we're in the championship series. It's not going well. We are like, again, I said it last week, and I'll say it again this week. There's just something in the air. I think we're going to Subway Series.
I think after watching both series, I had a couple takes last week about who I wanted to win. Nope. As long as it's not the Yankees, that's it. Yeah. Any of the other three is fine. I'll take the Mets. I'll take the Dodgers, no problem. Cleveland. There's a couple of Cleveland fans that I know that are pretty annoying, but they're not Yankees fans. They're not the Yankees at all. So yeah, it's any of those three. But it looks like the Yankees are going to sweep and just get past Cleveland. They look. Ugh.
Cleveland is out of its depth right now. Like, it's just showing in every, like, they had like a Looney Tunes game with a dropped infield fly. Like, that was the
dude.
Do you know if that counted as a hit or no?
No, it didn't.
Thank God.
You saw my anger.
I saw your anger. You're like, that better have been an error.
I take Aaron Judge to get a hit every single game out of fucking spite. And I won money because he hit a home run later that game, but I was very upset whenever he dropped the ball. I was like, that better count as a fucking error. Because I love seeing him just struggle in October. I'm a hater. That's fine. It's weird. I don't really hate Aaron Judge. I think it's just my animosity for Yankees fans. So I'm just like, haha, your guy's struggling. Fuck you.
It's the concept of Aaron Judge. He's on the wrong like if he even a Shohei Ohtani on the Dodgers, I still like him. Like, even I don't really hate the Dodgers that much. They're fine. They're whatever. But like, it's the Yankees. I hate the Yankees. And it's just like the entire aura of the Yankees just clouds the entire being of Aaron Judge to the point where I look at him and all I see is a Yankees player. Not a guy who's like pretty much a nice guy, like a wonderful guy. He's a cool backstory. Seems like he's worked really hard to get here. No, he's a Yankee. That's all that matters to me. He's a Yankee who also, by the way, you're losing a lot of money on because he can't hit in the postseason.
Worth it. Worth it for the bit. I'm not losing that much money. My units on those are very small, but it's nice to see. I emotionally hedge way too much, and I spite bet way too much, and oftentimes it works in my favor because things don't normally go my way in sports outside of the Astros for that 8-season run. But besides that, for the other major sports, not so much. Going on to the other series. The NLCS is at least fun. It's not going to be a sweep. They're actually in New York tonight, which, I mean, go get them, Mets, I guess. I don't care who wins that series, to be honest. Actually, what I want to happen is the Cleveland and New York Yankees series to go 7 and this to go 5. Whoever wins this game, I want them to win the series because I want them well rested because I kind of want the NL to win this one. So that everyone kind of has to, no one would do this, but kind of looks around and goes, Astros, please save us. Bring the title back to the AL.
Yeah, I don't think literally anyone would say that after the dynastic period of the Astros. But yeah, no, I am very much in agreement that I think no matter like if the Guardians somehow come back, do a Cavs 3-1 somehow to the Yankees, I am perfectly fine of the opinion that the Mets or the Dodgers win. Like partially, I kind of want Shohei to get his ring just cause. Especially after spending years in, I was going to say in LA, but he's in LA already. Spending years with the Angels, just trying his hardest to be good. Like every once in a while you'd see him get really excited about being good, and then they just squash that because they weren't a good team. So part of me wants that. I like Mookie Betts. On the other side, I think it'd be funny if Grimace held the World Series title somehow.
It would be. It'd
be really funny.
and that's the power of friendship over there with the Mets, which would justify our friendship take, which I really liked.
Yeah, I know. Well, so the Guardians are like vaguely power of friendship, but I don't care about the Guardians that much. I'll be honest. It just like the Tigers were more of a power of friendship team.
Oh yeah,
to me than the Guardians are. At least the Mets kind of. I mean, I say this, the Mets like 2 seasons ago, or even a season ago, we were like, those dirt. Actually, no, they're first in payroll. So I don't know if we can call them power of friendship.
Yeah, but they also shipped out 2 of those massive payrolls in Verlander and in Mad Max out. And then, funny enough, they got off those. They're still paying those contracts partially, and now they're in the NLCS.
Yeah, which they play tonight. So, by the way, for those of you who are new, we record Wednesday before the games. So by the time this comes out, I don't know. They could be 2-1 up, or they could be destroyed. I don't really know.
They could be dead.
They could be dead. Like there could be, as I hope happens with the ALCS, everyone involved could die. That's a Norm Macdonald reference for those of you who don't get that. That was not even a good Norm Macdonald reference. But yeah. Also, just quickly on the Aaron Judge thing, I want to point out, I looked up his stats. They played today, I believe. No, they played today.
No, yesterday.
Oh, today's the 16th. I keep saying the 15th. Whatever. They played yesterday. So this is up to date. He is hitting 167 in the playoffs with 1 home run, as we all saw.
Which was last night.
So
I looked at like doubling down before the game, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to take him to hit a home run just in case, just to make sure he doesn't do it. He was plus 250 odds. That's fucking nuts for a standard home run bet. For a playoff home bet only being plus 250, no, that wasn't even worth, because then I don't even get like a good comeback for what a home run bet should be. No, so I was just like, fuck it, stick to the hit, and then he got a hit, and I was like,
I mean, in a way, you got your comeback after he edged you like that. All right, yeah.
You proud of that one?
Not at all, actually. Not at all. I worked too hard to think of that. But that's it. Also, what's going on with the Astros organization? There are tons of minor. I don't know. Like all these guys have been staples of either minor leagues or like Garrett Pettis. These guys who've like been around for like, I think Gary Pettis was there for 10 years, something like crazy long term, pre the dynastic era. They're letting them go. From what I've seen /heard /streets are saying, they're either saying, we're not going to resign you, or we're going to let your contract expire, so just get out of here now. So it's just sad to see what's happening. I don't know what's happening. I was more okay with the Dana Brown, Jeff Bagwell administration after the playoff, or after like leaving the playoffs, just because I was like, they tried their hardest with a team that just wasn't coming together. We had lost too much. There were too many injuries. I'm now concerned with what's happening because theoretically, I don't trust these rankings as it is. Theoretically, our minor league is ranked last, second last or last.
Even though we just won the fucking AAA championship.
Yeah, who cares? By the way, go Space Cowboys. But it's ranked theoretically last. I don't know what that means. That should be based purely on like when people were drafted, their rankings coming out of college or high school. Don't really know. But yeah, what's going on? I don't know. I don't like it.
I don't know. Mass fire sales or mass leavings are never good. Mm-hmm. So I guess they must have something planned. I don't love letting go of Gary Pettis. He was with us for 10 years, like you said. I guess we just sit and wait and see what they're going to do. I mean, we're obviously not going to get a new manager. So, and Spada did a great job in the second half of the season. Yeah. So I don't want a new manager, but I don't know. Maybe they're clearing house to pay all 3 of our big free agents, 2 of them next year, 1 of them this year.
Gary Pettis.
That's not how that works, but yeah, Gary Pettis, top tier contract. Good. Cap space.
Look up best paid third base coach in the MLB. It's Gary Pettis just at the top with something like $20 million a year. Last but not least, the Tampa roof, Tropicana Field roof is gone, and it's not going to be ready for the start of the season. To that I say, Oakland Coliseum, you have the chance to do the funniest thing you've ever done.
Oh my God. I didn't even think that. I thought we were going to go wholesome and be like, hey, they let us play there. Come to Houston on our away games. You guys can have Minute Maid Park. Unlike Dallas's bitch ass, you guys helped us through these times, so let us help you. That is 100% funnier, and 100% should be done, especially because it's a East Coast team playing on the fucking opposite side of the country.
It's just the ACC actually. So that's my hope. I know the Oakland soccer team is going to be playing there. I don't know how much the fields will interact at that point, but because the NYCFC plays at Yankee Stadium. So I don't really know, but I'm just saying Oakland Coliseum, you have the chance to do the funniest thing possible. Because Tampa's getting a new stadium in a couple of years anyway. All right, so college basketball is kind of back. There are scrimmages happening around the nation. Scrimmages are like preseason. They don't really count unless you want them to count. And so I've really seen a UH one. I saw Baylor beat Grand Canyon. I think North Carolina beat Memphis, who doesn't have a coaching staff, so who cares? Penny Hardaway, I still believe in you. With that said, the top 20 preseason top 25 came out. Kansas was at the top. People get mad when you. Yes.
This is a question.
Oh no.
Oh.
Notre Dame is not there. I'm sorry.
No.
Sorry for audio listeners. He pointed his hat and was like, "I'm so confused." No, they are not there right now.
Fuck.
The Big 12 is going to rock. The Big 12 is going to absolutely rock. There are more SEC teams in the top 25, but there are 5 Big 12 teams in the top 10, which is just going to rock. I'm so excited. I mean, might not be good for my team's standing, which is UH, but I'm so excited for basketball, college basketball, that is. I'm a little surprised to see Arkansas there, only because Calipari just got there and had to reform the team. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm not the guy who shoots the preseason polls. I think I would let them out just because there were questions. I also think Calipari runs a bad offense and defense, but that's just me. Don't ask anyone who knows anything. Next up, hockey. We're hockey fans now.
I did some research on my boys. Oh, there it is. Let's go, Maple Leafs.
I have a Maple Leafs jersey now. I got here yesterday. I bought it I didn't buy a Fanatics jersey because I'm not stupid, and I also hate Fanatics. So I didn't buy one of them, but this is straight from Canada. Excited!
All right.
So
source material.
Source material. I went and got it. I saw the Maple Leafs were passing out like Thanksgiving meals. I was like, wait a second, what? And then I remember they're in Canada.
Canadian, yeah. Canadian Thanksgiving.
Yeah, the thing they copied from us, I think. I'm not really sure. Don't fact check me. The Maple Leafs are currently 2-1, which is exciting.
Nice.
Nice. I still really don't know things about hockey. I don't know who's good. I know this guy named Austin Matthews is good only because I see a lot of his shirts, not because I actually know he's good. To me, it still seems like a scrambled mess. You just kind of do things, but I'm liking it. It's fun to watch. There's a game on tonight I'm going to watch while I edit this. So I'm enjoying being a hockey fan. It's fun so far. And also there's a player of the game belt I want to buy. So that's me.
Unfortunately, I've not been able to catch an Avs game yet, but it might be pretty fortunate that I have not caught an Avs games yet because we are currently 0-3 and we've allowed 20 goals in that time. 6.6 goals a game. Yeah, it's not been great. Every single one of our players, except for one, has a negative plus minus, and that one person that doesn't have a negative plus minus is John Ludwig, and he has a 0, so no positivity on the team. But Nathan McKinnon and Cale Makar, all hail Cale is what I've seen in my limited research. Those are our best 2 players. One's a center, one's a defensive, and they both have 5 points each. Been a rough start from my beginning, but don't worry, Avs fans, I'm on the way. I'll start watching games, and we're going to turn this bitch around.
There we go. Dude, I'm liking it. I feel like a child again where I'm learning things all over again. Like I said, I'm watching the game. I'm like, it feels kind of like a mess, but not in a bad way. I just don't really know what I'm looking at. It's like soccer. People watch soccer and say it's a mess. I watch soccer and I'm like, I understand the picture. I understand what I'm looking at. By the way, speaking of soccer, this is my soccer update. The U.S. lost to Mexico last night. I don't want to talk about it. I'm actually mad. That's the one team you should beat, no matter what. That's the one team the U.S. men's national team can consistently beat for the past 5 or so years.
In his debut, right?
No, they beat Panama in his debut.
Oh.
So
that's good.
Yeah, we beat the country we kind of owned for a second.
It helped create.
Yeah, it helped
create.
Yeah. Until we gave the woke mob's destroying this country. We gave up Panama. They'll just beat them. But yeah, last on the fun agenda or just nonsense. What are we talking about? NBA back next week.
Yay! I don't care about the NBA until after the Super Bowl. To be honest, I don't care about the NBA until after March Madness. So April.
Yeah,
but I will do a better job keeping up with it, especially because it looks like the Rockets have a fun squad this year, or more fun squad this year.
I'll keep up. Obviously, like I said, I am more of a college basketball guy. Always have been, always will be. I like college basketball. So again, I'll watch college basketball and be like, I know that guy, and then just not remember. I did. I think it was last year. No, it was 2 years ago. I went to a Rockets game after watching exclusively college basketball for about a year. I was like, oh, they're just so much better in every way. Like
That's such a different game.
It's such a different game. They're just better. So that's all from the fun things. We'll have an NBA report maybe next week. Maybe we'll have more college basketball next week, obviously. But we're almost back. I'm so excited. We're almost back. Speaking of kind of back, Notre Dame was back this week.
Yeah! Our defense fucking rules. We've let 70 points on the entire season. That's 11.6 points a game. Holy shit. We kicked the fuck out of Stanford. Riley Leonard looks a lot better. I'm not confident in any playoff run for him when he starts playing better defenses. Like when we played A&M, he looked like garbage. We're not going to make a real run at this thing. I hope we make the playoffs. At the same time, for my father's health sake, he doesn't really have any outlying health problems, but he's a diehard Notre Dame fan even more than me. I'd like to, not go to the playoffs because I don't want him to get his hopes up and then watch us get stomped. It's nice to see domination, but this might be the week where we take a step back with Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech isn't incredible. I thought they were going to be incredible because of them beating Florida State, because I thought Florida State was going to be phenomenal, and boy, were we wrong about that.
Turns out anyone can do that.
But we'll see how this week goes. Like I said, I'm in love with the defense. The defense is phenomenal. 11.6 points a game is crazy good, but the offense still leaves much to be desired.
Yeah.
Even though we put up 49 this week. The passing game. I should say the passing game leaves much to be desired. And he has been improving every week in the passing game, but still, it's not a high-flying offense by any means.
I would speak about UH, but we didn't lose this week, but we also didn't win, which kind of is a blessing and a curse. Yeah, good for us. We might.
Oh, you got shut out.
We got shut out again.
No points.
Oh, no. Third one this season. Crap. But we also didn't let them score either.
Ah.
I'll talk about the upcoming game this week at the end. There's not much to say other than, oh no. But speaking of running, Ashton Jeanty, he's
so good and so nonchalant.
He's so not. He should like
pre-ball snap.
Can we just pre-balls? Can we just give him the Heisman now? Like truly, and I don't say that like jokingly. Like, can we just give it to him now? I don't know if you saw Travis Hunter, who we'll get to in a second, said something so dumb today.
He has 1,000 yards on 95 carries. Imagine if I had 95 catches.
You'd be the best season of all time, Travis.
If you had 95 catches through what? 6 games? 5 games?
Yeah.
They had I think it was their bye week last week. So 7 games or whatever?
No, they played last week. It was
they did. They had bye week this week.
Yeah. Because I watched the end of Colorado, Kansas State. I was this close to tweeting. Should we maybe rank Colorado? Like, maybe should we? When they scored with 2 minutes left, or like 2.5 minutes left, I was like, no, I'll wait till the end of the game. It feels wrong to tweet this now. And then Kansas State came back and won that game.
Now, Travis Hunter did get hurt pretty early on in that game, so that changes everything Colorado does.
Yeah.
Sanders' son looked like shit, the defensive one.
Yeah.
The quarterback still looks great.
Yeah.
Shiloh looked bad. Did you see, he got juked out his ankles multiple times
and
then stiff-armed into the ground.
Yeah. There's a reason he's not the favorite. So it makes sense to me. Shedeur, I will give him this. He is helping Colorado win despite his offensive line, who I don't know if they hate him or they're just the worst offensive line to ever exist. They just let people through easily. So I'm not going to say I wasn't giving props to Shedeur. I just was like, he's an overrated name. After watching him this season, it's kind of not his fault. It's just that he doesn't have the pieces around him in any capacity other than maybe Travis Hunter to make things happen.
Tend to agree. Like we said, he's hurt. I think it's their bye week this week. So hopefully he comes back and recovers. Oregon and Ohio State.
Yes. So you want to go first on this one? Because I have thoughts on that in a second.
It was a really fun
It was a
game.
good game.
It was a really, really fun game. It's a game that you want to see out of a 3-2, where it wasn't high flying offenses. Defenses were getting stops, but there was points scored showing that on both sides of the ball, they are good teams. Fucking hilarious the way it ended.
Yeah.
And also a masterclass by Oregon's, coach. They're in the works changing the rules now.
I'm confused about the rule because I was under the impression when it comes to extra man on defense, if they're running off the field, it's a live ball penalty, which means that you let the clock run, but then you're fine. Like it's like you let the clock run, but if the play goes well, it goes well. It's just like it's when you can accept or decline it. If there's 12 men on the field and the 12th man is trying to play the ball, it's a dead ball penalty. And the 12th man was trying to play the ball. Now, maybe I'm really stupid and wrong, but I am confused on why they let the clock run.
I think that's NFL. I'm not a rules expert at all. I think that's NFL, and in college, it's run the clock no matter what. I think. I don't know for sure.
This is off a tweet. I thought I saw a tweet. I did see a tweet. I don't think, but I saw a tweet that they changed the rule in 2013. It may have changed to that. I was under the impression that's how that worked throughout no matter what. With that said, if that's the rule,
working on it right now. Yeah. So we're working on it right now to get it fixed because what a masterclass, beautiful move for him to commit, dude.
That's so smart. I love when coaches do that. Like, I don't know. There are people I saw who were very angry about it because they're like, that's not coaching. That's just playing using a loophole. It's like, yeah, that's kind of the point of rules. Like Bill Belichick, this is the second week in the row we brought him up. Bill Belichick, no matter what, would always find a way to loophole in the rules. That was like his entire thing. There was like a story I heard about it. He's like, you want to argue with me about the rules? Because he's just a rules expert. I love seeing that. That was fun to me. I was a little confused on why the refs didn't call it earlier, but I'm also not a Big Ten ref, so who gives a shit?
Yeah, I mean, I really don't have anything else to say about that game. That was just a very fun game, and I got the outcome I wanted. But transitioning to the last big game of the week, UT versus Oklahoma. My God, UT stuck it to them, and I have a quote from our good friend Tessa, TC Jester, on Spotify. I wish Oklahoma a very happy Charlie Strong / Tom Herman era. OU scored no TDs, and I think of a third point, but to be honest, it's unsporting of me to give more than OU did. Georgia next week, I actually feel confident, which has me suspicious.
Yeah, no,
couldn't have said better myself, Tessa.
Good job, Tessa. Tessa's also our Spurs expert. So she's our UT and Spurs expert, or Pochettino expert. But yeah, that was like not a fun game to watch in terms of there was nothing happening. It was just a complete destruction. When people kept giving Oklahoma a chance, maybe I'm a little bit of a narcissist in this sense, because I saw what they did the UH game against Oklahoma. I'm like, if you can't beat UH as like a ranked team, I worry about you against actually good teams. And when they came against an actually good team, Texas, they got smacked. That was a rubbing. That was a stupid game to watch where UT just got whatever it wanted. And
it wasn't entertaining. And the Red River rivalry.
No. I'm calling it the Red River Shootout.
The Red River Shootout.
Yeah, I still call it the Red River Shootout.
Hold on. According to those comments last week on our brandishing a weapon video, the Red River Shootout is always, no matter how bad one team is and how good the other team is, normally it's played close. Yeah. This was an ass kicking.
Yeah. It was bad. It was a bad game from OU. I do think, not time to hate on Texas a little bit, planting a flag on Baker Mayfield's jersey is one of the saddest things I've ever seen in my life.
Dude, that's the most rent-free shit I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You know, this almost a decade ago, this guy came into our house and beat the shit out of us and planted their flag. So we're going to bring their jersey, preload his jersey to the game. Dude, how embarrassing would it be if they lost that game and they're just like, oh, we have this Baker Mayfield. We got to make sure no one fucking sees this or takes a picture of it because we're going to look like idiots. I don't know, man. I don't like OU. I nothing them. Mm-hmm. I like Baker Mayfield a lot. So, and I liked him in college a lot. I loved all his antics, crotch grabbing, the rest. Dude, if you took a blank OU jersey, put that down, and then did it, beautiful. Well done. Yeah. The fact that you went after Mayfield almost a decade later, besides that, you beat the shit out of him.
If you had a blank jersey, you could just transubstantiate his name onto it. But
True.
yeah.
Oh, that would have been great for the meme community.
Yeah.
Like that would have been a win for UT fans. But
it shows you how good Baker Mayfield was. That 10 years on, that still lives rent free. I'm a Baker Mayfield apologist and will be basically forever. I think the Browns are suffering the fate of what they deserve at this moment for doing what they did to Baker Mayfield, who again was the first quarterback in decades to get them back in the playoffs.
And the Panthers, who we talked about earlier, they had Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield on that team together, and now they're in Tampa Bay and in Minnesota, and they're lighting shit up.
It's generational incompetence. All right, you want to get to?
I got two. I got one more thing on college football. I've got the 3 upcoming games of the week.
Let's do it.
It's going to be Alabama at Tennessee. I'm going to hammer the shit out of Tennessee. Alabama has looked bad back-to-back weeks against not great teams. Well, Vanderbilt's pretty good, actually. But they haven't. Alabama hasn't looked great. So
I'll say something real quickly. It's a new era in Alabama when DeBoer, after barely beating South Carolina, he goes up to an interview smiling. If Nick Saban, there's a side-by-side post of DeBoer at that interview, and then Nick Saban at the national championship, 28 up, yelling and losing his mind. It's a new era. It's annoying to see almost as I'm not a fan of Alabama in any sense. I have no connection. I don't. Yeah, you went there. I have no connection whatsoever to them. But I will say, as a fan of college football, I am a little peeved at Kalen DeBoer and his lackadaisical nature right now after losing to Vanderbilt.
I think Tennessee is going to win this game. It's their home. Alabama's kind of not look great. Tennessee looks pretty good. I think Tennessee wins this game. The other game, 24 Michigan at 22 Illinois. I don't like this game. Is going to be a fucking bore to watch.
Yeah, I don't care.
Nothing that game.
I don't care for Michigan as a school. I've said it before and I'll say it again, but this is purely based on college basketball. I'm a Big Ten hater. I'm a happy, proud Big Ten hater. I don't really care about these two teams fighting. It's that picture of two guys fight. I can't say the word, but those two guys fighting. I'm just not excited for it in any sense.
And then number 5 Georgia at number 1 Texas. Depends what Georgia comes out. It really depends. If we get first half of the Alabama game, Georgia, Texas is going to beat the shit out of them, and it's going to be incredible to watch. If Georgia plays like every other, except for the Kentucky game. See, that's the thing. The Kentucky game and the first half of the Alabama game. This isn't the same old Georgia either. Now, half their starters have been arrested for different driving violations, but I don't know. This really is shaping up to be, this is Texas's year to run the fucking table. Texas is looking like your mid 2010s Alabama or your late 2010s and early 2020s Georgia right now. They are dismantling teams, and I think they will continue to do so. And this is going to be their biggest, in my opinion, their biggest test. Michigan turned out to be not great. So if Texas goes through Georgia easily, Jesus, they are the number 1 team, but this would supplant them as a fucking we're a menace to the entire NCAA. Everyone's going to hate the playoffs because we're going to smack everyone by 30. Mm-hmm. But I mean, then that proves they're the best team and worthy of the national championship.
Okay, you want Georgia to come out like they're driving a Dodge Charger at 105 and a 40, and that's what I'm hoping for, is that we get that kind of game. I fully agree that this Texas it's a team of destiny. Whenever I like them already. Whenever Arch came in that one game, I was like, oh, he's good too. And his receivers are still doing what they did under Quinn. The defense is rocking. It feels like a team. It feels like this is 2005. It's almost 20 years on. It actually will be 20 years on come next year's national championship. It feels like we're kind of feeling a team of destiny right now. I hate to say Texas is back, but I fear that Texas is in fact back. So congratulations, Texas, you're back. The NFL this week, the Texans not only beat the Patriots, they dismantled the Patriots. So round of applause for us. Great start to the season.
Hey, look what happens when your offensive line stops committing so many penalties, and also you get your number one running back, and he runs for over 100 yards again. Joe Mixon makes this offense go. Under Akers, it wasn't great. Dameon Pierce also was hurt, and Ugalagwe was a positive spark. But as we just proved, Mixon was the guy. He was always going to be the guy, and he's just a spark for this offense. We shipped Cam Akers off to Minnesota, which we signed him, halfway through the preseason, and we signed a guy, and we got a 6th round pick for him. All right, but Joe Mixon makes this thing go, man. He looks phenomenal. He went 13 rushes for 102 yards and a touchdown, and then he had 2 catches for 30 yards and a touchdown as well. Welcome back, Joe Mixon. I love you.
I think I posted on our Twitter account. Thank you for changing my life, and I'm literally just a healthy Joe Mixon. I am during the Astro season, we had the Kikuchi apology tour where every day we just apologized to Kikuchi for actually being good. When we signed Mixon, and I have a blog about this as well, so it's set in stone, where I was like, well, he's a little bit older. He wasn't as explosive at the end of his Cincinnati run. I don't expect much from him. I don't know if he's going to change our offense. I am so wrong. It's unbelievable. No one should ever listen to my opinion ever again. It was beautiful watching him play. It felt like also that CJ had another option. Like the offense had another option where it just didn't rely on CJ Stroud to do whatever he had to do to get the ball up the field. Now he could hand to our back and he could actually do something himself. So it was wonderful to see, especially when the O-line has figured out how to play football without committing a penalty. So good. Hey, thanks, Laramie Tunsil. Very proud of you. You did your job that you should do.
Speaking of another option, Dalton Schultz has looked like shit this entire season. Mm-hmm. We need Braven Jordan back because we need a pass catcher in the tight end position. I don't know what's going on with Schultz. He's a great blocker still, but he either needs to wake up or we need to get Braven Jordan back quickly because having a check down tight end, not even a check down tight end, an athletic tight end and a check down tight end would be awesome. So, but I digress. I was going to say something about always hyper focusing on Nico Collins. Nico Collins didn't play this game, and Tank Dell seems to be back. He went 7 catches, 57 yards, and a touchdown. Thank you. Welcome back, my sweet boy. Now, if you and Nico Collins could be playing at the same time and doing that as well as let's not forget about the Mr. Consistency on this team, Stephon Diggs. If everyone on this team was healthy, the offensive line stopped committing penalties, which they have. Mm-hmm. This offense is top 5 offense in the league. Mm-hmm. Alas, now we have to wait 3 more weeks until Nico Collins at the earliest comes back. And hopefully everything stays healthy and hopefully the offensive line keeps their water. So just because we have a juggernaut gauntlet at the end of the year that we're going to need all hands on deck.
Yeah, I was going to say this felt like Tank Dell's 2024 debutante ball, where he finally got targets. He finally got targeted well. He finally got those balls that kind of were consistently going to Nico, also Stephon Diggs, but mostly Nico Collins, who seems to be, I would argue that Nico Collins is CJ Stroud's number 1 guy right now. So it was nice to see
100%
that Tank was able to get some of those pick hedges. I'm a Tank Dell apologist. I'm a Tank Dell believer. I love Tank at UH. I love Tank on the Texans. I am very happy that this seemed like not because he was on my fantasy team and that really helped me this week. Even though I lost, who cares? But
I traded for Tank Dell before this game with Neil, and thank you, Neil.
You idiot! You traded Tank Dell, idiot.
I think I lost and he still won. We didn't play each other, but still. Will Anderson Jr. Speaking about coming out parties, he's had a pretty good season. Let's not disparage that. But he had a 3 sacks, 6 solo tackles, and 8 total tackle day against the Patriots. He ate. Welcome to the show, Will Anderson. I've been waiting for this kind of breakout this entire season because he can do this pretty consistently. Maybe not 3 sacks consistently, but he can have this kind of take over the defense type game. And he hasn't, he's had, like I said, a solid season so far. I was waiting for a game like this, and he took over. He dominated.
Speaking of defense, this was, not that I'm concerned in any sense, but this was also the first game where the Patriots scored more than 20 the entire season.
I think Drake May's that good.
Drake, there are a couple passes where Drake May, there's one pass where it was just a dime. Drake May, I think, is much better than I've given him credit for. I thought this was an execution. Like, I thought he was sent out to die. He wasn't. He didn't, like, it wasn't a perfect game. But it was a good rookie QB first game of the season, first game mid-season. One of the better ones I think we're going to see. So I just want to give props to him because I imagine that's incredibly hard to go up against what is a great defense. Knowing that, again, you're kind of sent out for an execution, or maybe, I don't know, Jacoby Brissett went home. I don't know which one it was, but I don't know.
No, I think it's a huge positive for Patriots fans. I think you look at them
let's not give them that. Let's not give them positives.
I think they have their guy. They're never going to replace Brady. Okay. Mm-hmm. You're not getting a guy that's going to win 6 Super Bowls. Probably. But I think they have their guy. I think that's the future in that, because the Texans defense is a good defense, and he comes out in his starting debut and does that. I think they're going to be good long term. Give them 3 years, and they might be back to competing for the AFC East.
Hopefully not, because our boy Josh Allen needs to win still. Quickly, one last thing on the Texans. With Mario Edwards out, actually, Danico Autry's coming back this week. So it's a swap. It's a suspension swap. Thanks, NFL.
Nice.
I like to imagine they piss tested him in like week 2, and we're like, well, we'll wait till week 4. Week 6.
You got to give him a chance.
You got to give him a chance. Like, yeah. Yeah, I was happy with the Texans this week. I think we both had this as a W early in our season preview. So happy for us.
We're talking about people coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Russell Wilson is now the starting quarterback for the Steelers. What the fuck are you doing?
Steelers country, let's ride. Yeah. I mean, Justin Fields does not look great either. Like, I wanted to believe in Justin Fields. Turns out that's just never going to happen.
But they're winning games.
Yeah, but he just doesn't look good. Like, I think that's exactly what it is. He doesn't look like a great quarterback. So they thought in their head, like, Mike Tomlin's, I don't know, ludicrous ideas have led us to the point where he knows how to get 9-8. So I imagine whatever he's doing right now means that he's going to get to 9-8 somehow. If Russell Wilson is that guy, maybe. Russell Wilson apparently looked great in practice and in preseason, according to.
So he did before the Broncos seasons too. I don't know. I think this is a mistake. You do not take the ball out of if you're winning with a quarterback, you don't just fucking take him out unless you have. If Russell Wilson had 3 years established on the Steelers first, and then he was injured, and then he comes back and Justin Fields was their backup. Sure, I understand taking the ball. You do not take the ball out of a person that seems to be loved by his teammates. By the way, they loved him in Chicago. The locker room loves him in Pittsburgh. Russell Wilson is not that guy. A lot of reports have come out about his time in Seattle. People tired of his shit, think he's an asshole. And then at the Broncos, everyone hated him. So I don't know how the Steelers feel about him in the locker room, but I think this is a huge mistake. And so we'll get to my bets later. As soon I had the Steelers -1.5 against the Jets. As soon as they switched the quarterback, I cashed out of that bet. Luckily, I got all of it back, and I put money on the Jets. And it was a full swap. The Jets were plus 1.5 or 1.5 points, and after the Russell Wilson news, it swapped. Jets were -1.5 point favorites now. So I was like, done. I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they're thinking. Maybe there's an idea that Russell Wilson's quote unquote veteran experience will help them somehow. I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know what Mike Tomlin's thinking. He is the epitome of average in some senses. So I imagine he just wants to get back to the playoffs. So to secure his job, maybe. I'm also not a Russell Wilson lover. I think he's a cornball of a human being, and there's a reason that he was carried heavily by the pieces around him and
Legion of Boom,
and what's
the run
Seattle.
game.
And then once he got to the Broncos, where Nathaniel Hackett also just is the corniest human being alive, and no one seems to like him other than one person. I'd like to say that it's just not going to work out, but maybe Mike Tomlin has something up his sleeve that I don't know about.
And you just brought up my next point of interest. The Jets just traded for Devontae Adams. Holy shit, what a good move. Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson could not get on the same page. Garrett Wilson is a phenomenal wide receiver. I hate people that don't think it just because him and Rodgers don't have the chemistry. as a wide receiver too, Garrett Wilson is probably going to shine because Devontae Adams is going to take a lot of the attention away. And yes, Rodgers is going to hyper-focus on Devontae Adams, and Devontae Adams is going to get his. No problem. He's still a top 5 receiver in this league. This is a great opportunity for Garrett Wilson. He's going to be attracting the second cornerback attention rather than the number 1 cornerback, the shutdown cornerback's attention. So Garrett, he's going to lose targets. He's not going to get 23 targets like he did a couple of weeks ago. But he's going to be in such a better position to succeed. The Jets offense is going to be fun. I really think so. It's going to be fun if they can get the run game going. Breece Hall, I don't know what's happened to you, man. I don't know if it's the offensive line because Rodgers seems to be frustrated with the offensive line at times too. But, yeah. The Jets offense is on the uptick. I do like that, and I'm bringing up the next point too. I do like that the Jets and Bills played that first half of that game. We're like, our offenses are awesome. Played the second half of the game, goes, our offenses are shit. We're each going to trade for a weapon because the Bills traded for Amari Cooper.
Yeah. So quickly on the Jets, I'd like to say that it's very funny to me. There was a guy in Liverpool named Philippe Coutinho who every once in a while, whenever he clearly wanted to be traded, he would just have a hurt back. And so Devontae Adams' hurt hamstring that just has disappeared. I like to say similar to that. Also, Devontae Adams, you've heard the Nova Knicks. We're ready for the New York Packers. Devontae Adams is like my Valentine, to bring her up 2 weeks in a row, where she disappeared and comes back as the bad guy. The Jets are kind of the bad guys these days. So he's now working for the seal of the Orichalcomylos or whatever. So
you beat me to it.
It's a great move though.
I do have a Yu-Gi-Oh moment coming later.
Okay, I want to hear it. But it's a great move. Amari Cooper also a great move. Josh Allen, like I think we said at the beginning of the season, I was a little worried about Josh Allen not having that weapon, that guy anymore, and because he didn't have Stephon Diggs. Turns out he doesn't need a guy. He's just that good. And now the Bills have gone out and got him that guy, which I imagine is only going to make them even better. I think I'm going to say the AFC East may be a little wrapped up, but that's just me. I'll say it out loud right now. The Bills are incredibly inconsistent, though, but I do think the Bills over the Jets in terms of AFC East. So
my Yu-Gi-Oh moment of the week is down in Dallas, where the Lions played the Cowboys, and Dan Campbell pulled Mike McCarthy aside and said, "You're a third-rate coach with a fourth-rate team. I'm sending you a picture right now of what I exactly want on that." Yeah, he beat the shit out of the Cowboys and then taunted them. 4 offensive plays, I believe, were 4 offensive plays were involved with offensive linemen touching the ball, I believe. That's crazy. That was 100% a callback to the playoff game where they had the offensive lineman didn't fail to report, so we're gonna have to call back this touchdown or 2-point conversion. Don't remember exactly off the top of my head, and they beat the shit out of him. They came down there with the intentions of embarrassing him on Jerry Jones' birthday, and holy shit, did they ever! Good for the Lions fans, man.
Dan Campbell hates the Cowboys for good reason. He hates the Cowboys, and he made them pay on national. He made them look dumb on national TV. Not only did he get offensive linemen involved, which is that's having an outfield pitcher come in or an outfield player come in to pitch. Because the game's so far gone. I loved it. There were hook and ladders, which I again think is the future of the NFL. Maybe just me. Rugby's the future of the NFL. Rugby. Let's go Swansea. That's the only team I know who plays rugby other than national teams.
I know the All Blacks in Australia.
Yeah.
Or New Zealand? New Zealand.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, yeah. So that's not so. Yeah, yes. South Africa's something else. We know so much about rugby, but yeah. Also, the stupid I don't know who the architect is for AT&T Stadium. I think they should be killed, maybe, because who builds a stadium east to west during football games with big glass windows east to west? That doesn't help anybody.
There are curtains they have for concerts.
Why not
use them during the fucking football game?
I mean, it looked pretty on Fox, but I don't care.
I'm watching the game.
Tom Brady's glistening skin probably looked wonderful in the light of the day. So I saw one Cowboys fan like, actually Lucas Oil Stadium also has windows. He's like, is it built east to west? Is it built east to west, you idiot? And it's not. So, I mean, we're dealing with that's the most intellectual Cowboys fan on the internet right there. But I really thought it was a good game. So I hate the Cowboys. Dak looked horrible. Just horrible. Maybe the Dak agenda has to come to an end. Also, Jerry Jones wouldn't have made a fool of himself on radio the next day or 2 days later. You're threatening someone's job when they ask them a legitimate question of, hey, we're good. Why are we not getting better? So it's the worst week of his life since schools had to integrate. So I'm very happy.
We're Texans. We can use that accent. We can make that joke.
I probably just have to cut the joke I just made. I don't know if you heard
it. No, let it roll. Okay. Yeah, no, they look stupid. And I think CeeDee Lamb is done with Dak Prescott shit.
Yeah. Oh, he has to
holy shit. Oh, don't worry. They just signed Dak Prescott to a fucking $60 million a year contract. So CD, you're stuck, by the way. You're fucked. You just got signed to a contract too, buddy. You're stuck.
I was about to say, we thought Deshaun was the worst contract in all of football, but actually it's just the worst contract in all of football. There's no getting around that. Yeah, Cowboys fans, you're fucked for the rest of the year. You're fucked for the next, how you can
4 to 5.
You're fucked for a generation. Cowboys fans, you're fucked for a generation. All right. Also, Jimmy Johnson is owed a lot from Jerry Jones. That's the only reason the Cowboys were ever a good team was Jimmy Johnson.
Oh yeah. Imagine winning you run 3 Super Bowls in the 90s after just getting the team and you're like, oh, this is going to be awesome. And then in 95, you're told that's the last Super Bowl you're going to win. That would suck.
I mean, I don't know. At least he gets to, watch from his box angrily every weekend. I don't like Jerry Jones.
Speaking of Deshaun Watson, the Browns just hate their fans. Straight up, just hate their fans. They refuse to do anything. They're just going to trot him out there and just say he's gonna be better. He's gonna get back. Deshaun Watson, it sucks.
Deshaun, I think, what was the stat? He's over his last 25 third downs, which I don't think that's ever happened before.
I think it's 28.
20. That's just.
It's insane.
I don't know what the Browns organization is suffering for the decisions they made against Baker Mayfield, which I'm okay with because I think they deserve to suffer. I don't know if the fans do, but the organization itself deserves to suffer. The sins of the father are now the sons, whichever organization was letting Baker go. But it's like as an outside fan who thinks Deshaun Watson should tear his ACL every week, it's excruciating to watch this team play. It's excruciating. You have the most fun quarterback in the entire league on the bench right there. You're not going to the playoffs. You're not going to this might be another Browns first number 1 pick this year. Just put Jameson.
Have some fun. But the problem is, I don't know if I want Jameson in there anymore because they just got rid of Amari Cooper. And I'm like, you wasted Jameis time, man. And I don't know what Jameis's backup contract looks like, but I want him to not be there next year. I want him to go to a team that would just like to have some fun. All right. Just a team that knows they're not going to win it all, but wants to sell some tickets and kind of begin their rebuild. But hey, here's a fun quarterback for the fans. Enjoy, throw 30 touchdowns, throw 25 interceptions. Let's have 400-yard games with 4 interceptions, please.
I mean, NFC South might be a great place for him. We should try that sometime.
He's already been to 2. Do the cycle, man. Yeah, Panthers next.
Yeah. I mean, they could use somebody.
Why not?
Why not? Why not?
Even though Dalton's not looked bad.
He doesn't look bad. He just doesn't really have the pieces around him. Also, it's Andy Dalton.
Poor bastard.
He's 37 at this point.
He's pretty old. I didn't realize how old he was.
He's been around for my Ginger King has been around forever. So
speaking of old, Joe Flacco.
Sorry.
Joe Flacco wins football games.
Joe Flacco is back.
Joe Flacco wins football games, man.
He never left, but he's back. I am a fan of I remember making fun of Joe Flacco after the Ravens. We gave him that contract. Okay, Lord God, Joe Flacco. Turns out we were all wrong along the way. He's so good.
I love him. I love him, and I want him to play in the NFL forever.
I know this is probably his retirement job or his retirement club.
He's got 1 or 2 backup jobs in him, especially he's playing at a high level. Anthony Richardson is healthy enough to play. He's not all the way healthy, but he's healthy enough to play. And they left Joe Flacco in there because they know they need to give Anthony Richardson time to develop. He's still playing like it's college. This is not college. This is the NFL. These people are bigger, faster, stronger, and smarter than it was in college. You can't just be Superman all the time. You're going to get hurt like you have been. So I think they just leave Flacco. And then, so instead of risking injury, and they know they can win games with Flacco, they left Flacco in.
Which they should. I mean, my biggest problem with Anthony Richardson is he, like you said, he plays like he's in college. He plays like he has a death wish. He plays like the guys he's playing against aren't like 250-pound linebackers. Like, I don't understand. And then the Colts, I think, are mismanaging him as well when it comes to his injuries. They just kept leaving him in. No one's telling him, like, hey, please stop, Anthony. I don't know. I'm not on the team. I'm not a team doctor, but I do worry for Anthony Richardson's long-term health, which I don't know if the Colts are just cursed with the quarterbacks who have the weirdest injuries. Peyton with his neck, Andrew Luck with his whole being, and now Anthony Richardson with his whole being as well. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with Joe. Lord God, Joe Flacco is back. Let him reign forever.
I got 2 more points. We'll make them pretty quick though. Caleb Williams has arrived officially. It was the Jaguars. I don't care. It was the Jaguars. Caleb Williams looked phenomenal. He is showing why he was the number 1 overall pick. Some people were making, primarily meme kind of trolly things saying like, lol, Jaden Daniels should have been number 1, all this stuff. Lol Bears. The Bears are going to be okay. Caleb Williams looks phenomenal. Remember, he is a rookie. If he's doing this now, this rookie class could turn out to be phenomenal, by the way. But
we're looking like a 2016 wide receiver class. I don't know if I'm thinking of, yeah.
But no, Caleb Williams looks great.
He also
they have a bye this week, so he won't be able to try and repeat his performance. But I think, I really think he's going to be good, and I think he's showing it. Sure. Oh, it was the Jaguars. That's the point. Quarterbacks take advantage of bad teams, and he did. He threw for 4 touchdowns and a shit ton of yards. He still has a gauntlet to go through in oh my God, the NFC North hasn't really started playing each other yet. That's going to be so fucking fun when they do.
They might actually
we got a big matchup this week, to be honest, too. But no, the NFC North might have an argument at the end of the year for the best division in football.
I think they actually have, I actually think they have that now. Who am I kidding? They have that now. I don't think it's the end of the season. I think right now, if you were to ask me what's the most fun division in football, but also what's the best, I'm giving you NFC North every time.
I don't disagree. I mean, I don't disagree at all. I don't disagree.
I think maybe the NFC
best
South,
and most fun.
Yeah, I think maybe the NFC South has most fun, but I'm not going to give them to them.
But that's not necessarily because they're good. That's because it's just a fucking crapshoot.
Yeah, it's because it's fun to watch. You're like, that was stupid, but why not? Let's see it again. So I maybe AFC East, maybe. I don't know, best, but not really. So I truly think the NFC North is like, again, we came into the season. We came into the season talking about the NFC North being great. We also said in that the Vikings are going to be the worst team in the NFC North. So don't listen to us. They're the best. I still think my prediction, I don't know if Kirk Cousins is still on there, but my prediction of like the 4 leaders in the MVP race of Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, and Sam Darnold, I'll put Kirk Cousins in there still as well. I don't think there's anyone. There's probably other people. Maybe Joe Flacco gets it somehow. But I think those 4 are probably leading the MVP race right now, which is crazy. Crazy to think.
Last note on the NFL that I have is Nick Sirianni is a douchebag, and I hate him, and I think the entire city of Philadelphia hates him. So Eagles fans, I think the entire country is on your side when we say we hate this guy. Talking shit to your own fans, taunting them, and then, I don't want to catch any strays from reporters, so I'm going to have my kid sit in my lap while I do my post-game press conference. What an asshole. Also, just since getting to the Super Bowl, not during the Super Bowl, since getting to the Super Bowl, he has not been a good coach.
No.
And if I was a Philadelphia fan, I'm that far away from calling for his job and calling for his head, because that's Philly, baby. But
I'm perfectly fine calling for his job now. You can't just have those years of suckage. Like maybe theoretically, like the Dallas Cowboys have been writing off a couple Super Bowl wins in the 90s for the past 20 years, 30 years. But in reality, like you can't keep a coach around who clearly just shows game after game he's incompetent. Plus, he hates the fans, and he's actively trying to make the fans angry against him. That's the last thing you need as an organization. Last thing on that, kids are only for whenever you win. What's it? Sundays are for winners. Kids are for winners. You get to bring your kid up if you win a game or win a championship. If you lose, go up there and face the tough questions.
They won. They won. They played the Browns. They won. By the way, they barely beat the Browns.
Let me rephrase. You have to actually like win. You don't get to just win. I still count it was like a mental loss where, again, if you win, but you turn around and start mocking your fans, I don't know if we're counting that as a win. That feels like a loss to me.
And then use your kid as a fucking human shield. It's just horrible.
Like Riley Curry gets to go up whenever her dad wins championships. Riley Curry does not get to go up when her dad loses championships.
Or if Steph Curry started taunting Golden State fans for some reason and was just like, haha, fuck you. Yeah, you didn't think I could still shoot and shit. Ha ha ha. Oh, I don't want to deal with media, so here, Riley, be cute. I really don't know how. I don't know any Philly fans in real life, so I have no idea how they feel. But I'm sure they're fed up with his shit. Yeah. If he had won the Super Bowl a couple years ago, I think that he has way more leeway, and he can get away with a lot more. But they were up in that Super Bowl, and then they fucking let it get away from them. So I don't know. I'm not a Philly, like I said, I'm not a Philly fan, but I'd be out on Sirianni.
Yeah, if Shane Gillis is listening, wants to come on a podcast to talk about that, let us know. I don't really have anything else on the NFL other than Will Levis breaking a ball boy's leg or helping a ball boy lose his ACL this past weekend. Poor
dude, he's a part of everything.
Yeah,
he has something every week.
Yeah. I thought we were overplaying it for a second there. Like week 3, you felt like you were looking for it. At this point, it's like, Will, you gotta it's like, I don't know if you've ever seen Arrested Development. There's a point when they asked Tobias to film himself talking because he just says the dumb, I accidentally blew myself, because he was blue, but he said he was blue himself. I think Will Levis needs to tape himself and see what he looks like on tape. The next week, just don't do that. Because now when I think of the Titans, I think of one, the horrible I don't know if you saw Calvin Ridley's targets this past week.
Dude, when he was like, "Oh yeah, I got 8 targets." Yeah, he got 8 balls thrown to him. Yeah. 2 were targets.
Yeah. He got 8 balls. Then mentally, Will Levis Calvin Ridley is right there.
Yeah, that's a better way to put it.
He got 2 balls that tried their best to get there. So Will Levis, I kind of want to keep him around because I think it's funny. We need a clown in the NFL.
He's kind of the Jameis Winston right now, man. He's got a fucking cannon arm, but he's making he's a less fun Jameis Winston because he's not as much as a media personality, and B, he's not throwing for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns with his incompetence as well.
Jameis could at least hit guys. He could at least hit them.
Sometimes they'd be on the other team.
Yeah.
But
they were there. There was a guy there. Will Levis is thrown to the ground. So he's trying to be a groundskeeper next. And not a bad job. Last thing on the NFL, I forgot to talk about it when we talked about the Jets. On Monday Night Football, and I may be crazy, I may be losing my mind, I am convinced that every time that something bad happened to the Jets, then Monday Night Football would outro to a commercial or something with the Killers. Whatever song it was. I don't know what this way they were saying. Joe Buck is subliminally messaging us that Aaron Rodgers killed Robert Saleh. I don't know what's happening, but I just thought it was incredibly interesting. And I wish someone from Monday Night Football would talk to me about it. Cause I just felt like I'm crazy. I looked up on Twitter, Killers, Monday Night Football, Killers MNF, Killers, whatever. And not a single person tweeted about it.
Nothing.
I felt like I was crazy. Brian, it's time for or do you want to do your picks first?
No, we'll do our picks.
Okay. I'm raw dogging this because I've realized I do better when I raw dog.
Okay. So, what's your record right now?
Actually, here's the thing. I don't do better when I'm raw dog. So I was 9-7 last week, and I'm currently 47-48.
Okay. So I'm 53-39.
Okay.
So we're still
no.
We're still pretty close. I'll just list them out and you just let me know and then I'll say it after you. Broncos Saints, Thursday Night Football.
Saints.
Patriots Jaguars.
I'm gonna go Patriots actually.
I'm gonna go Patriots as well. Lions, Vikings.
Don't bet against Sam Darnold. It's the Vikings.
I got Lions. Titans, Bills.
Bills.
Dolphins, Colts.
Colts.
Falcons, Seahawks.
I'm gonna give Falcons, but I'm gonna say Falcons, but that's a close one in my mind.
I'm gonna go Seahawks. Texans, Packers.
Texans.
Mm-hmm. I'm very nervous for this game.
I am too, but I feel like I have to be a homer for this.
Bengals, Browns.
Give me the Bengals.
Give me the Bengals. Eagles, Giants.
I'm going to choose Giants here because I think the Eagles will be demoralized this week.
I've got the Eagles because I feel like this is a get right, and I think Sirianni is going to try and turn this thing around and get Philly back on his side, but fuck that guy. Raiders, Rams.
Just going to say Rams.
Rams, yeah, I don't give a fuck about this game. Panthers, Commanders.
Give me the Commies.
Chiefs, 49ers.
Chiefs will find a way to win. Like, you just will.
All right, 49ers.
Okay.
Jets, Steelers.
I feel Jets. This is Jets.
Yeah, I've got the Jets because I don't want anything to do with Russell Wilson. Also, how the fuck is Chiefs 49ers and Lions Vikings not the Sunday Night Football game, but instead it's Jets Steelers?
Because Robert F. Kennedy himself called NBC National Broadcasting. They killed his uncle. So
Ravens Bucks.
Give me Ravens.
This is one of 2 Monday night games, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah,
we're doing
Ravens.
that again.
I like it, dude, because you're going to understand why you like it, because that's a good game, right? Chargers Cardinals is the other Monday night game.
Give me Cardinals because I just pick them every week.
Give me Chargers. Also, just to know, the Patriots and Jaguars are in London, and the Jaguars stayed there. Patriots are traveling there.
Poor Jaguars.
So we have a London game and 2 Monday night games.
Sometimes I feel like
fuck you.
Sometimes I feel like we're punishing Europe. Like, we're punishing them for giving them this. Like, Patriots, Jaguars, and another. Actually, it was never going to be a good game in another life, but.
No.
Okay.
On to my picks. I'm 47-4-1, so not great, but still neck above water. Saints money line, Patriots plus 5.5, Bengals minus 4.5, Lions Vikings over 50, love it. Packers minus 2.5, Dolphins Colts under 44, Eagles Giants over 42, Falcons minus 3, Titans Bills under 42, Panthers Commanders over 52, I love it. Raiders plus 5.5, Chiefs money line, Jets minus 5.5, Ravens Bucks over 48.5, and then Cardinals plus 2.5.
I love it. All right. Perfect. Do you have anything else, Brian?
No, but could you tell the good people where we can find you at?
Actually, I have 2 more things real quickly.
Never mind. I take it back.
So I don't know if this is real. I've seen this from 2 angles so far. So if it's not real, don't come at me. There's a New York or Times Square McDonald's ad with Grimace on it that says, "It wasn't luck, it wasn't fate, it was Grimace," with Grimace throwing the first pitch of the New York Mets game. I don't know if it's real. I really need it to be. I've seen it from like a kind of another angle, but I don't know if that's real. So if it's not real, I look really stupid. If it is real, this is the best marketing campaign of all time. Last thing on my agenda, Chris Bumstead retired this weekend. That is like a thing. I was watching barely naked men or barely clothed men on Saturday night by myself, all oiled up and tanned, because that's what I do on Saturday night. But yeah, Chris Bumstead, one of the greatest Olympia Classic physique, actually the greatest Olympia Classic physique guy of all time, because he was the only one so far. Retired this weekend. He looked great. He's a wonderful person from what it seems on the outside. Love his YouTube channel. Just want to send a shout out to him for helping me have better workouts and more motivation. So shout out to him. Brian, you can find me at Jordan's Thoughts on Twitter. You can also find me at Moonstamp Sports across all platforms, which includes Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Brian, where can the people find you?
You can find me across all social medias at Auric Polaris, especially at twitch.tv/Auric Polaris, AURICPOLARIS. I will be streaming on Friday I will be streaming some Bloodborne alongside Neil. We went for about 3 hours 2 weeks ago. It was a really good stream. I enjoyed it. I am bad at From Software games. It's going to be painful. I'm going to be drinking during it because that's my Friday blow-off Steam stream. It's going to be a good time. Can't wait for it. Shout out Christian just because he's the only member of our baseball, football, basketball group chat that we have not mentioned since we've mentioned Neil and Tessa. So shout out Christian. He might make an appearance at some point during a Mario Party stream in the future. I need to talk to you about that later. Yeah, man, that's all I got for you.
Well, everyone, thank you so much for listening to us today, watching us. We appreciate you for doing that. If you're new, please leave a 5-star review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen, or leave a comment on YouTube. We appreciate it so much. Thanks so much for listening and watching. We will see you next week.
Stay beautiful.